evening, you're now with me, Hendy for TVS Nightline, and here are the headlines for tonight. All Malaysians are urged to learn more about the nation's independence and uphold the RUKUN NEGARA principles. The federal government lauded Sarawak's carbon policy as the most advanced, aiming for collaboration to achieve net zero emissions by 2050. The Sarawak government is setting up a data center for local entrepreneurs through MINTRED. All Malaysians, regardless of their background, are encouraged to deepen their understanding of the nation's independence history and to fully embrace the principles of the RUKUN NEGARA. Sarawak Governor Tun Pehin Sri Dr. Wan Junaidi Tuanku Jaafar emphasised that independence that we Malaysians enjoy today is a precious gift passed down by our forefathers, a sovereign legacy that must be safeguarded by every citizen through just and honourable actions.
Kita hendaklah sentiasa membaca, memahami dan mengistiharjahkan bangsa serta negara kita dengan bijak, memperhatikan atau bersikap peka atau sensitif dalam membaca pembacaan kita seperti yang disarankan oleh EHK dalam Qasim Ahmad Dewan Bahasa Pustaka 24. Apabila anda membaca suatu karya sejarah, sentiasa kesani gemanya sekiranya anda tidak dapat mengesan apa-apa. Ini bermakna ada anda tudi nada atau ahli sejarah, anda itu seorang yang dengar. Sesungguhnya penerapan unsur-unsur ilmu budaya sejarah negara bangsa kita seterusnya hendaklah dilandaskan literasi rukun negara, yakni dengan membaca, memahami, menghayati dan mengamalkan kalimah 5 prinsipnya yang luhur itu dengan sejujur-jujurnya.
He said this while delivering a lecture at the Statesman Lecture and Book Discussion event hosted by the Sarawak Governor in Kuala Lumpur earlier today. He expressed hope that the people of the nation will always strive for wisdom, as it is the key to the country's continued growth and prosperity. The federal government acknowledges that the carbon planning and policy implemented in Sarawak is the most advanced of its kind in the country. Minister of Natural Resources, Environment and Climate Change, Nik Nazmi Nik Ahmad said, through Sarawak's readiness, the federal government intends to establish close cooperation with the region to achieve the target of net zero carbon emissions by 2050.
Jadi ini adalah sebahagian daripada siri libat urus dengan kerajaan-kerajaan negeri, dan bagi kita Sarawak telah ke depanlah dari segi merencana dasar karbon. Jadi kita turun untuk kita memastikan rang undang-undang yang kita bangunkan dan kita harap dapat diperkenalkan secepat mungkin ini kita dapat selaras dengan apa yang telah dibuat oleh Sarawak dan juga keperluan kita di peringkat antarabangsa lah di bawah UNFCCC. Jadi perbincangan dia sangat positif dan kita insya-Allah kita akan bekerjasama rapatlah untuk kita capai ke arah sasaran kita untuk sifar bersih 2050 bagi Malaysia.
He explained that the engagement sessions are crucial to ensure harmony between existing legislation in Sarawak with legislation planned by the federal government.
Kepentingan dia adalah untuk kita pastikan ada keharmonian antara perundangan yang sudah ada di Sarawak dengan apa yang ada di peringkat yang kita sedang rencana untuk negara dan juga keperluan kita di bawah peringkat antarabangsa. Dan bagi kita tengok kita boleh ada pendekatan yang menang-menang antara federal dan juga negeri supaya kita dapat capai sasaran kita lah.
He said this after paying a courtesy call on Sarawak Premier Dato' Patinggi Tan Sri Abang Johari Tunopeng at Wisma Bapa Malaysia in Kuching on Tuesday. The Japan-Malaysia Association, JMA, is committed to strengthening relations between Malaysia and Japan via the ongoing rainforest restoration program in Sarawak. JMA Vice President Haruko Arimura said so far 900,000 trees have been planted in Sarawak through the cooperation of various Japanese businesses and associations, as well as its foreign ministry.
And from Japan, we have 8 members delegation of Japan-Malaysia Association who have committed to deepen relationship of the state of Sarawak and your country, Malaysia. And our top is Mr. Ogawa, who is the president of Japan-Malaysia Association, who have these 30 years, we have committed to rainforest rejuvenation of the state of Sarawak in Malaysia. And almost we have accomplished 900,000 trees, mainly in the state of Sarawak and to your country, with the cooperation of a lot of Japanese companies and the association's commitment with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in Japan.
He said this during an interview after paying a courtesy visit to the Premier at Wisma Bapa Malaysia, Kuching earlier today. Haruko explained, to further encourage efforts to conserve forests in Sarawak, JMA will be organizing a tree planting program at the Sabal Forest Reserve on Wednesday, in line with their mission to achieve the goal of planting 10 million trees in the future.
Near future, we are committed to have 1 million tree plantation, and our main target, go far beyond the 1 million, hopefully 10 million in future.
Among the forest landscape restoration programs carried out by JMAR, Balai Ringin Forest Reserve, Gunung Apeng National Park, Sampadi Forest Reserve, Bakam Forest Reserve, Sabal National Park, Unimas Campus, and along the coast of Kampong Buntal. JMA has also completed the first phase of a project to restore aquatic life and the environment in villages near Sabal National Park from March 2021 until March 2024. The second phase began in April 2024, involving Kampong Sabal Kruin Baru, Kampong Sabal Kruin Lama, Kampong Sabal Kruin Tengah, Kampong Nyalita, Balai Ringin, and Serian. The Sarawak government, through the State Ministry of International Trade, Industry and Investment, MINTRED, is in the process of establishing a data center for Sarawakian entrepreneurs. The matter was part of the agenda of a National Entrepreneur Development meeting on Tuesday, chaired by the Minister of Entrepreneur Development and Cooperatives, Dato' Iwan Benedict.
The meeting was also attended by Deputy Premier of Sarawak, Dato' Amar Awang Tengah Ali Hassan. Awang Tengah emphasized the need for cooperation from agencies to share existing data among each other. He, who is also the Minister of International Trade, Industry and Investment, said Sarawak's approach to developing small and medium enterprises and entrepreneurs stands out from other states.
The 21st Sukma Sibu Carnival, held at the Sibu Indoor Stadium, is projected to generate over 100,000 ringgit in revenue during its week-long run. Sarawak's Deputy Minister of Public Health, Housing and Local Government, Dr. Michael Tiang Ming Tee, is optimistic that the target will be met within the next 4 days based on the impressive 50,000 ringgit in sales achieved during the first 3 days.
I believe this is not the first time Pejabat resident Sibu to do this. I think this is the second time. This indoor stadium. Suksa also, yes, Suksa, yes. So we already have experience. So maybe next time we can build a bigger platform for these local entrepreneurs. I have a confidence in their products. They are very talented. We need to build a space and a platform for them.
He emphasized that events like this carnival serve as a platform to celebrate Malaysia's unity, highlighting the nation's rich cultural diversity and the different backgrounds of its people.
Backgrounds. I think this is what carnival means. It means everyone has a part, everyone can participate, and it is an opportunity for everyone. I think this is a wonderful time for us to celebrate our unity through Sukma and also Carnival Sukma.
Earlier today, Michael Tiang, who also serves as the assistant chef de mission for the badminton event, officially launched the 21st Sukma Sibu Carnival at 9 a.m. The event was also attended by Sibu Division resident Abang Muhammad Porkan Abang Budiman. Sarawak kick off the Silat events at Sukma 2024 in style on Tuesday, securing an impressive haul of 3 gold medals and 1 bronze. The Bumi Kenyalang squad achieved their victories at Miri City Stadium through the Jurus Wajib Regu Putra, Jurus Wajib Regu Putri, and men's creative solo events. In the Jurus Wajib Regu Putra category, the Sarawak team was represented by Ahmad Daniel Abdullah, Muhammad Noor Azli Sham Muhammad Ali, and Suhaikal Suhardi. Meanwhile, the Jurus Wajib Regu Putri team featured Noor Adriani Fitri Abdullah, Noor Alfianis Jordan, and Vivina Anging Jontan. The Sarawak men's trio clinched the goal with a score of 9.93, narrowly edging out Selangor, who scored 9.92. The women's team also delivered a goal-winning performance, scoring 9.93 to surpass Johor, who earned 9.915 points. In the men's creative solo event, Muhammad Shamizal Shapian triumphed over Federal Territories athlete Faris Zakwan, scoring 9.92 to 9.9. Meanwhile, the bronze medal in the women's solo Baku category was won by Zurin Zulaika Zaidil.
Sempena istiadat pertabalan ke bawah Duli Yang Maha Mulia Seri Paduka Baginda Yang di-Pertuan Agong ke-17 Sultan Ibrahim, Jabatan Museum Malaysia telah menganjurkan pameran Raja Kita yang akan berlangsung dari 26 Julai hingga 29 September 2024 bertempat di Galeri 1 dan 2 Jabatan Museum Malaysia. Jumpa anda di sana.
specialist Italian divers today commenced a renewed search for 6 individuals, including UK tech tycoon Mike Lynch and his teenage daughter, who went missing after their luxury boat capsized off the coast of Sicily. The British-flagged Bayesian, which had 22 people aboard, including 10 crew, was anchored some 700 meters from the port when it was struck by a water spout, a sort of a mini tornado. Angela Baccaris, the wife of businessman Lynch, was among the 15 people rescued. However, Lynch and his 18-year-old daughter Hannah remain missing. The head of Sicily's civil protection agency, Salvo Cucina, reported that specialized firefighter divers trained for operations in confined spaces were flown in from Rome and Sardinia late on Monday. Despite their expertise, the initial search of the wreck, located approximately 50 meters below the sea surface, was unsuccessful. The firefighters explained that access was restricted to the bridge with significant difficulty due to obstructive furniture. The 56-meter luxury vessel had been moored off Porticello, east of Palermo, when violent winds and rains suddenly struck the coast. A British survivor, Charlotte Golunsky, described the scary ordeal, saying the boat was hit by a powerful wind and sank quickly. Golunsky, who briefly lost hold of her 1-year-old daughter in the waves, managed to save her while the sea raged around them. Lots of people were screaming in the dark, she recalled, after managing to get onto a life raft. Now, U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken headed to Egypt on Tuesday for talks on a Gaza ceasefire as he pushes Hamas to accept a deal. Blinken, who met with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu in Jerusalem on Monday, will afterwards head to Qatar, which along with Egypt is brokering negotiations for a truce in a 10-month Gaza conflict. The top U.S. diplomat flew to El Alamein to speak to Egyptian President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi at his summer palace. He will then head to meet Qatar's Emir, Sheikh Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani in Doha, the scene of ceasefire talks last week. At the Doha negotiations, the United States presented proposals to bridge the gaps between Israel and Hamas and seal the May 31st ceasefire blueprint laid out by President Joe Biden, who has faced growing domestic criticism over the war. Blinken said on Monday that Israel has accepted the U.S. proposal and that he would speak to Egypt and Qatar to gauge the reaction of Hamas, which has no direct relationship with the United States, as it considers Hamas a terrorist group. Blinken later said that the ceasefire proposal could be the last chance as he raised pressure for a deal. He played down a public rejection by Hamas of the modification in the latest proposal and said Israel was ready to send a delegation to new talks later this week, which the United States previously said would take place in Cairo. A series of reports, however, say that Israel has raised new conditions in recent talks, including insisting on control of the Gaza border with Egypt that Israel seized from Hamas. Now, Hezbollah stated that it had launched several rocket salvos at Israeli army positions today in retaliation for Israeli strikes on eastern Lebanon yesterday. The group targeted 2 Israeli military sites in the Golan Heights in response to attacks on weapons depot in Lebanon's Bekaa Valley. The Israeli military in statement confirmed that around 55 projectiles were identified crossing from Lebanese territory. The military added that some of the projectiles were intercepted and the rest fell in open, with no injuries reported. The military said its forces struck one of the launches from which the rockets were launched. The latest salvos from the Hezbollah movement came after Israel struck weapons depot deep inside eastern Lebanon on Monday. That Israeli strike came after a soldier in northern Israel was killed by Hezbollah fire, the latest death in 10 months of cross-border exchanges between Iran-backed Hezbollah and Israeli forces. According to an AFP tally, the violence has killed 585 people in Lebanon, mostly Hezbollah fighters, but also including at least 128 civilians. On the Israeli side, including in the annexed Golan Heights, 23 soldiers and 26 civilians have been killed. Fears of an escalation have mounted since Hezbollah and Iran vowed to respond after an Israeli strike on Beirut last month killed a top Hezbollah commander, Fuad Shur, shortly before an attack in Tehran blamed on Israel killed Hamas political leader Ismail Haniyeh. In an emotional farewell at the Democratic Convention in Chicago, President Joe Biden warmly endorsed Vice President Kamala Harris as his successor, embracing her on stage after delivering a heartfelt speech. During his address, Biden reflected on his deep commitment to the nation, recalling how he gave his very best to America as he recounted the key moments and achievements of his term. The crowd erupted in cheers, particularly moved by his recent decision to withdraw from the 2024 presidential race, setting the stage for Harris to take the lead. Harris, who has since invigorated the Democratic Party and narrowed the gap with Republican Donald Trump in the polls, was praised by Biden for her dynamism. Emphasizing his love for the country over personal ambition, Biden dismissed any rumors of resentment about stepping down as he acknowledged the nearing end of his 50-year political journey. He expressed his commitment to preventing Trump's return to power. The emotional peak of the event came as both Biden and Harris appeared visibly moved, shedding tears during the thunderous applause that greeted Biden. The heartfelt event concluded with Biden exiting the stage as the song Higher Love played, leaving many attendees visibly emotional. See the world closer with TVS as we bring you the latest news updates both locally and internationally. For more headlines anytime, anywhere, just head on to our official website at tvsarawak.my or follow us on our social media platforms. Those were the updates on TVS Nightline. I'm Hendy Gui. Thank you for watching. Have a good night.